Sealed Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the El Dorado of our game, a golden neverland where untold treasures burst from every street lamp, and behind every door lies the adventure of a lifetime. We're so desperate for it that we seek it out at every opportunity, modifying rules, constructing cubes, digging through bulk just for the opportunity to make use of these wild cards the game provides to us that just miss the mark for competitive play. In May of 2012, Konami released Battle Pack Epic Dawn to North American audiences, a sealed set of cards designed to be opened, drafted, and built on the spot. The product was revolutionary and received 2 more incarnations in Battle Pack 2 War of the Giants and Battle Pack 3 Monster League. Each incarnation of the Battle Pack had their upsides and downsides. All of them are a blast to play, with friends or at a locals, and the impact that they left on the TCG and the hearts of players lingers to this very day. And then, just when they had hit the zenith of their power and prestige, they vanished. Konami stopped producing draftable Yu-Gi-Oh! Sets entirely, and the voices of the entire Yu-Gi-Oh! Community coalesce into a single star, in my opinion, right now when I say that was one of the most unforgivable acts Konami has perpetrated on their own player base, period, matched only by their refusal to unban Harp Horror. Players would spend the next decade forced to create their own sets or hunting down the old sets. I hosted a Battle Pack 3 tournament for my bachelor party with a factory-sealed box my best man bought for me for Christmas, and we had the time of our lives. I came in second place. Cursed Armaments is a sick card. That brings us to today, or rather to March of 2022, and the release of Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1 into the North American market. Konami designed this product specifically to extract every cent of expendable income, and an unfortunate amount of unexpendable income, out of me. I'm one of those players who unironically thinks Duel Terminal is both based and red-pilled, and I think the game had something special back in those days when cards read like steaming piles of cardboard. The Duel Terminal archetypes had such powerful identities and flavor. Albaz and Moye can eat their heart out. Naturia for life. I played them at the time of their release, and I was for sure coming back for more with a reprint set designed to target me specifically. I purchased a healthy amount of the set for myself, opened my skill drains, and was prepared to call it a day when one day, my locals owner lamented the fact that he had bought too much of the product and couldn't offload it. Always willing to help in such a predicament, I walked away that day with 3 cases of Hidden Arsenal at a killer discount. Now I had more of this product than I knew what to do with. My wife and I had a blast opening it all, searching for the elusive Naturia beetroot dice and skill drains. But at the end of it, I had quite literally 1,000 of Duel Terminal era pack filler and no idea what to do with it. Some say necessity is the mother of all invention, or at least one guy said that, I think. But I say that overabundance was the mother of my Hidden Arsenal cube. A phrase that's less quotable, sure, but it is true. Obviously, the set isn't draftable right out of the box. There are too many silly, out-of-the-blue nostalgia cards like Buster Blader and Dark Magician to be playable. But my friends and I constructed a cube using monsters from the set and some generics that led to a blast to draft and play. The custom rules for the cube are as follows. Every monster is every attribute simultaneously, and hold on for it, every monster belongs to every archetype simultaneously. I know, that sounds absurd. Medallion of the Ice Barrier searches your entire deck. Naturia Cliff tutors into anything level 4 or lower. Shock Troops is just a removal spell. And it was absolutely perfect. We decided on including 5 members of each archetype at 3 copies each in the cube. The representatives of the Naturia archetype were Naturia Cliff, Pumpkin, Horn Needle, Butterfly, and Dragonfly, with Beast and Landois in the extra deck. The Fableds leapt out of mythic legends of old with fabled Grimro, Nozuchi, Ashenvale, Mistoji, Ultro, and were led by the Fableds Ragin, Kadabi, and Valkyris in the extra deck. The Dragunity marched lockstep into battle with an army comprised of Primus Pilus, Angusta Clavi, Milichum, Dux, and Guisarn. None of their leaders really fit into the extra deck, so we hypothesized that the ice barriers kept it too cold for them. Speaking of the aforementioned ice barriers, these temple warriors were represented by Dewdark, Shock Troops, General Gantala, Medium, and Strategist, with Brionik, Trish, Duelorn, and Gungnir in the extra deck. Nobody invited them, but they couldn't exactly be held back. The Ally of Justice made a surprising inclusion with Searcher, Omni-Weapon, Quarantine, Cycle Reader, and Nullifier. Both Catastor and Field Marshal somehow made it into the extra deck. Cries of victory ring out from the mountains and herald the coming of the warriors of the Mist Valley, who included Mist Valley Executor, Soldier, Baby Rock, Falcon, Apex Avian, and Thunderbird, and always led by their stalwart leader, the Mist Valley Thunderlord. You may notice that there were 6 main deck monsters as opposed to the usual 5 from this archetype. We just really thought they were cool and wanted to include an extra. Holding up the back ranks of the set were the smoldering anti-heroes, the Flamvell, also representing like Neo Flamvell, who included Guard, Hedgehog, Grunica, Origin, and Saber, and led by their leader, Lord Flamvell Orangutan. The 3 generic synchro monsters that were included in the set, but are non-archetype affiliated, were Armory Arm, Goyo Guardian, and Mistworm. The spells and traps that we included in the set were as follows, and buckle in because I'm going to try and make this quick. Medallion of the Ice Barrier, Twin Twisters, Ring of Destruction, Lost Wind, Mystical Space Typhoon, Swords of Revealing Light, Drowning Mirror Force, Blazing Mirror Force, Quaking Mirror Force, Pot of Duality, Offerings to the Doomed, Paleozoic Canadia, Sakuretsu Armor, Dust Tornado, Enemy Controller, Reckless Greed, Forbidden Chalice, Foolish Burial, Lightning Vortex, Spellbinding Circle, and Acts of Despair. All in all, a series of generic and very impactful spells and traps that made the games, we think, a lot more swingy and pretty fun. Really, our goal was to make it so every pack that you opened in the draft, you looked at every card and went, I don't know what to pick. I want every single one of these cards. And I think we achieved that goal. I'll show you a quick overview of each card we included in the set so it can be viewed at a glance. Before this video ends, I'll give you a quick rundown of a few hilarious interactions that the rules of the cube enable. Naturia Pumpkin doesn't have a level restriction and can let you get out high-level monsters going second easily. Dragonfly is an absolute problem and might warrant removing from the set, but I think we put enough removal in so it's fine. Grimrow is a Rhoda for the entire deck. Medallion is a Rhoda for the entire deck. Shock Troops is a Rhoda for the entire deck. That also destroys a card on field. Gentala is an enormous monster reborn on legs that summons any of your stupid enablers during the end phase. Neo Flameville Origin is a tuner cyber dragon that lets you get into extra deck plays going second by breathing. Ally of Justice Cycle Reader is a double DD Crow. Mist Valley Baby Rock was almost a Fabled before the archetype change and is even more of one now with cards like Ashen Veil and Ultro, and Strategist is an upstart goblin that sets up your graveyard. We had a blast of a time playing this format, and the cards are dirt cheap, so if this is something that interests you, please have at it. This has kind of been a secret of my friend circle up until now, so it's nice to get to share it with you all. I might upload some dueling book content of us drafting and playing this set in the future, so if that interests you, please leave a comment below. What do you guys think of drafting in Yu-Gi-Oh? Is it silly that players are left to nonsense like this, or does the lack of a draftable format open opportunities for stuff like this to shine? Please let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, please, and remember to wash behind your ears.